Okay, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Over the next 20 to 25 minutes, I'm just going to be talking everybody through our Messenger 3.0 launch, which has replaced Messenger 2.0. As far as I'm aware, everybody on today's call is already an existing customer, so instantly you should notice an immediate change in terms of the layout of the platform. What we're going to do is obviously talk you through these changes, so everybody's well versed on the new functionality that exists in the system. Also use this session as a chance to have a bit of a refresh in terms of sharing a few best practices along the way. So the first immediate change is previous to Messenger 3.0 launching, we offered a prepay pay-and-go model, a platform that's run through the website with no software to download, no contracts or tie-in. That very much remains the same, albeit we've now 3 tiers to the service. So what I've pretty much just mentioned is now what's called our classic mode. So under classic, we include the following features, which would be the simple reply service, mobile surveys, mobile tickets and vouchers, and all of the other usual functionality that you're used to seeing, which we'll cover off throughout the webinar. We do a second package, which is a corporate package, and this is charged monthly, or a discount. We can do a 12-month orders, and basically, within this option, you've got the facility for unlimited surveys, simple reply service again, free account management, and the big change here is the ability to create sub-users. So previous to the launch, you're well versed on it was one login, one password. We can now set up for different departments multiple logins to a maximum of 5, and this is included on the corporate package. On the corporate package, there's a £39.95 a month charge, or we're doing, if you make a 12-month commitment, we can do that at £29.95. And then we run a customized solution as well, which is a bespoke package, which is tailored to individual requirements. And this can include things like enhanced support, complete data management, CRM integration, or bespoke reporting. For any white label resellers on the call today, there are now more colors available when creating or recreating brands on the master account. This has been updated already for existing resellers, and we just ask that you're happy with any of the changes. So just to recap there, then the first major change is the 3 tier options, which would be classic, which is very much what the system was previously, and then the big change here is the corporate option and the customized option. You'll also notice, as I say, immediately when you log in, that the layout is very different in terms of the color, the way in which the dashboard looks. You access the account in exactly the same way, so it's an online solution still. It's still run through the website. You still access it with your existing email and password. When you've logged in, this is the first screen you see. So it's just some very basic reporting stats over a 30-day window, such as what you might have sent or received. You will have a number of link hits here. We'll cover off what link hits actually are later, but you'll see those there. The graph will populate in accordance with any activity, and you navigate around the platform using the bar at the top, as you always have done. The second change to the system that I would like to make people aware of is on customer feedback. We have now added the facility for reoccurring payments. So previously, there was literally just, it was a prepaid pay and go. When your credits run out, you would need to physically ask us for invoice or buy credits directly through your platform. What we can now do when you buy those credits directly through the platform is we can set up an auto top-up feature. The auto top-up basically allows you to save those credit details, set some parameters within there to say, okay, when I get down to remaining 50 credits, please top up my account with an additional 100 credits or in line with what you normally purchase. You can also set a rule to say, well, actually, if I'm burning credits much quicker than I anticipated, if you've got multiple users on there, you can say, well, actually, don't top up any more times than twice a month, 3 times a month. And that's making life a little bit easier in terms of how you buy the credits. When you buy the credits, when you hit the buy button, obviously this is a demo account, so unfortunately we can't see this, but you'll have the typical card details as you've always had done, and there will literally be a box in the bottom left corner that says auto top up. You would click that and it would take you through the motions in terms of being able to set up those reoccurring payments. So they're the first set of changes that I'd instantly like to make you aware of. I'm just going to take sort of the rest of the time to do a bit of a refresh session in terms of how you can use Messenger and sharing some best practices, and along the way you'll see some glaringly obvious changes to the platform from what you're previously used to. So first thing we'll recap on very quickly is how to create a contact group. We hover over contacts and hit create group. We can give the group a name, and you'll notice as we're going along we've now got question marks which weren't here previously. So it's an explanation onto whatever section we're currently on and explains us how to get past this section and what we need to do. So you can see here by clicking the question mark, it simply tells us that we need to give the group a name and save it to get through to the next stage. I've already created a group, so I'll just come into my test group. We've been going for a number of years now, so we've built up some great working relationships with the networks. They allow us a number of privileges that we can pass down to our customers. The first being the ability to send text from names rather than numbers. So again, most of you should already be familiar with that functionality. And the idea is if you can send text from recognized sources, people are more likely to take note of it, which in turn should boost your response rates. That service is only a one-way communication tool. And the reason I say that is because names as destinations don't exist. So if people try and respond to those messages, they will be met with a failed message. On the basis you do need two-way communication, we obviously have numbers available that would allow responses. The third benefit is the ability to personalize text messages. So you can see in front of you here, you've got number, first name, last name, which is self-explanatory. Custom 1, 2, and 3, you actually set the criteria for that. So this is a one platform fits all solution. So one customer's custom 1 will be completely different to the next customer. And a quick example, we might work in the insurance industry, let's say. We can load our data in a way that allows us to send a text like this. So, hi first name, car registration custom 1, due to expire custom 2, your renewal price is custom 3. Now unfortunately there was a few minor bugs with this. It was due to be launched straight away with Messenger 3.0, but again based on customer feedback we have added an additional 2 custom fields in there. So very imminently you should soon see that there'll be custom 1 to 5 when you're creating the groups. To get the data into the platform, there's 3 ways. Best practice is to normally create an Excel spreadsheet. It's a CSV to be compatible with our platform. If you are going down a personalization route, it's a column per personalized field. The second option would be the ability to copy and paste a list in. Now this works for numbers only, but basically it allows you to copy those numbers from a CRM system and paste into this box here, adding the numbers. And then thirdly, you've got the option to add one by one directly into the platform, but obviously that would be the least favorable option on the basis that if you've got a lot of data, this could take some time. So that's basically how you'd create a contact group from an existing set of data that you've already built. Typically that would be opted-in data. The next solution I want to show you is something what's called a keyword shortcode, and it's a great database builder. So daily, our clients and customers are asking us to provide them with data. Unfortunately, this goes against our ethos of spam marketing, so we don't sell or pass on data to clients. We wouldn't advise that you go to a data agency and source that either, on the basis that the data is expensive. It's considered as spam, and your return on investment would be very low, on the basis that the data you source isn't necessarily for your target audience. So on that basis, a really easy but effective solution would be to run what's called a keyword and shortcode. So it's a word that's referable to a business or a campaign on a short number. So the idea is it's memorable. What we now need to do is we need to encourage people to text in, and we do that normally through offers and promotions. So text in for a discount, text in for to enter this competition. We can then hit people with autoresponders that will give them codes that they can quote at point of sale to get the discount, or send them a simple text back to say, you know, thanks for entering, winner announced shortly. If you're a business that typically doesn't offer products and services, then actually what you might want to do is use it more of an organizational tool. So text in for more information about what we do. Simply, that's how we use our keywords, and when our customers text in, we can hit them with an autoresponder with links embedded to the text, whereby the recipient can interact with that link and go through to landing pages where they can download several brochures on our product and service offering. Either option, when customers text in, they automatically opt into your service as they've texted in off their own free will. On the back of that, they've now divulged their number to you. And the idea being is you can now reuse that number, and that particular person should be more receptive to the message as they've opted in to receive the communications. If we go into the settings on the inbox, you'll see here this is where we create the bounce back text. We can auto forward the number, or we can strip the number straight from the text and pre-add it into a contact group. And then we can forward or notify you of any incoming message to an email address. I'm going to run this as a live demonstration. So for those of you that are on the webinar today, if you could please text the word webinar, which is WEBINAR, to 60777. So that's webinar to 60777. What you'll get back is a simple bounce back text that I've prepared that will allow you to interact through the URL links that we've just been discussing. It'll give you food for thought on how you could run this concept, and it'll then allow me to continue the demo by sending you all an outbound text when we get to that part of the system very imminently. So I'll just give everybody 10 seconds to text in, and we'll continue the demonstration. Okay, great. So for those of you that have taken part, you, as I say, should have had that bounce back text by now. Sort of post-demo, please feel free to have a look at how that's worked. So naturally now, I've to this point shown you how to build a database. I've also shown you how to load an existing database in. So naturally what we'd like to do now is send a text. So if we hover over send and hit send text message, any group that we've created is going to automatically appear on the left-hand side. By putting the dot inside the circle, that now selects everybody in the group. On the basis we don't want to send to everybody in the group, all we simply do is hit this expand arrow, which I can't do because there's a number of data in there for data protection purposes, but it will then give you a breakdown of everybody within that group for easy selection. Obviously, we're a different entity to social media, but we have written some software that will join the two up. And what we're saying here is if you hit the configure button and allow text local access to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, we'll auto post any message sent as a status update onto those media sites at no extra cost. The idea or the thinking behind this is that the more people that see my communication, the more chance I've got of people taking that offer or promotion up. On the right-hand side, this is where we now start to prepare the message. So we've already discussed what a sender name is. We can remove the sender name at any time just by clicking here and adding sender. You can see here it will keep a selection of any name we've used previously for easy selection, but it will always default back to what we set up at the time when we signed up for the account. We're just going to use text local for the time being. You do get the facility to create templates, so if you've got a reoccurring message that you're going to send quite regular, rather than prepare and send that each time, what you could do under send, templates and drafts is create that so it makes life a little bit more efficient for you for future sends. Once they've been created, they can be selected very easily here. We're now ready to prepare the message, so on the basis we're going to use personalization, that wouldn't be any good because not everybody's name is Andy. So what we actually do is insert the merge fields, and if you cast your minds back to how we created the contact group, you'll see here we've got exactly the same headers, and the system will now do a lookup and populate accordingly. You'd obviously just drop the content in where appropriate. In true Peter style, I've created a template message already, just to save a bit of time. So typically, some stats and statistics around mobile are that 32% would be your expected response rate, against email at 5% and direct mail, which is even less than that. I think those results speak for themselves, and if we look at the reasons why that is that there's more handsets in the world than there is people. On average, everybody has 1.8 handsets. 97% of texts are read in the first 5 seconds, and there's no spam filter with handsets currently, so it's actually the only communication tool in the world we can guarantee that our message will get read. So I'm sure you'll all agree, very powerful. That said, if I was spending X to get Y, and for whatever reason I wasn't getting Y, then clearly I would want some sort of fallback plan. And currently, with the message the way it is, with no links or attachments, there is no real fallback plan because you've used the sender name. As discussed, the customer can't respond. So on that basis, the only option is to send a second round of text out, which ultimately is obviously going to decrease the ROI. So on that basis, a best practice normally is to include links and attachments into a message. The reason you would do that is because if people are interested in the content of a text, they would generally interact with that link. And on the back of that, we can give you live reporting analysis that will give you names and numbers of the people that interacted, mobile devices, so ample information to follow up and target if needs be. So those links and attachments, what are they? There's 4 different types that you can use. So the best and the real game changer for us was the facility to include an attachment. So I'm sure everybody on today's webinar is well versed on what attachments are through email. So you can attach movies, files, documents, whatever it may be, and that can now be converted to link form and attached into a text. And you simply click attachment, load in whatever it may be, select the file, convert it in here, and that would come down to a link. The recipient then can click that link and open up that document. It's also a great way around the 160 character rule, on the basis that if you can't fit your content into 160 characters, what you can now do is create maybe a Word document, go into as much content as you like, save that, load it in, and then send somebody a message within 160 characters advising them to click a link for more details. You've then got the facility to create web pages. Now this isn't to be confused with creating websites. It's literally the facility to create landing pages that are specific to the outbound text. They're created within our system, they're hosted by us, and they're created in this section here. You've then got the most basic form of link, which is the short link, and that literally is just the facility to free type your website and allow the recipient to click and go through to that site. And then the final option you've got is the survey tool, which, yes, does what it says on the tin. It's very much about building surveys, asking customers, for feedback on products and service to improve customer relations in the future. They're created within our system under the survey section. Again, they're created into link form. You can create one page or several pages, and they're really, really useful. They can be flipped as well and used as data capture forms. So the facility to create forms to interact with customers for callbacks, registering interest in products and services, and so on. So they're the 4 typical links you would use. The next two links are very much around sort of marketing products and services and using one-time tickets or loyalty vouchers. So the facility, and again created in our system under the ticketing section, the facility to create a one-time unique offer to a particular range of customers, whereby you can send them that voucher, and that voucher can be redeemed at point of sale to get that discount. On the flip side of that, you've also got the loyalty side of it, which is very much about trying to replace the physical reward card that sits in your wallet and have it sit on the passbook on your handset. You've got 160 characters per message, which is pretty industry standard. You can see here we've gone over. Makes no difference on the basis that this is just a show and tell, but in the real world you would always try and keep that to 160 if you could, to be as cost effective as possible. You've got a facility to schedule messages, so if you knew you were in meetings this afternoon, you could log on beforehand and select messages to go out at certain dates and times. And then we've got the free opt-out service as well. So TextLocal are very serious about opted-in marketing, and on the back of that we provide a free opt-out service which you can include onto your messages and allow your customers to opt out hassle-free if needs be. We take care of all of the administration, so that basically means that if you had 100 people in your group, 20 people opted out, the next time you log in there'd only be 80 there. We don't delete them, we store them under under contacts and opt-outs. If we now come into advanced options, you've got the facility to segment, which was there previously. So this is the ability to say, okay, well I want messages to go out between 9 and 5 every half an hour in even tranches, and it just gives sales inbound teams a chance to keep up with demand if you're sending out to a high number of people. Again, validity has always been on the system, and this is the facility to send a text and set an expiry date. So we're saying if customers haven't received a message by a specific date and time, then that message won't go. These are two new features that you would not have seen before and have been included on Messenger 3 relaunch. And it's the facility to say, okay, only send to people I've messaged before within a particular group, or send to people I have not messaged before, which can be quite handy in certain circumstances. So we're now ready to send the text. We'll get a confirmation screen saying who the text is going from, to nature of the message and what it's costing us. And within the next 3 to 5 seconds, everybody that took part, your phone should be going off with the outbound text. So, bringing the session for today to a close, I'm just going to very quickly run through a few useful reports for you. The first being the ability to pull live delivery reports back from the network, reporting on the status of messages. Now, obviously, I can't go into this today, but ultimately, you would go to reports. It would be groups, and then in there you would get a breakdown of whether that message has been delivered or not. Obviously I can't do that for data protection. And then the next option you've got is the short links. So you'll see I use this account multiple times for demos, so I'll just pick the biggest one that I've had interaction with. And you can see here, this is the link we've sent, this is the amount of clicks that we've had. We click view stats on here. What we're going to get now is we're going to get a plotted line graph of who clicked and when they clicked, so we could target people in sequential order. We get a breakdown of devices and screen resolutions, and that's important on the basis that you can create your own tickets, vouchers, surveys or data capture forms, as well as landing pages. If you know this, the majority of your database have an iPhone, let's say, you could create the pages to suit those handsets. If you now export this as a CSV, it's almost a ready-made sales sheet. This is where you'll see the numbers and the names of the people that click through, and you can now target them with phone call or, as I say, a second series of text messages. And it's just a surefire way of improving the service and getting that return on investment that you crave. So that pretty much concludes what I wanted to discuss today. So it was a very basic introduction into Messenger 3.0 with a refresh session in terms of some functionality and best practices. Clearly I did skim the functionality and perhaps didn't go into as much depth as I could have done. For those of you that I've sparked interest in using a particular element of the system, please feel free to contact me directly, and we can discuss sort of individual requirements. You're going to get me on my direct dial, which is 01244 573 246. So that's 01244 573 246. Just to sort of recap on some pricing, I know we've had a few sort of questions that have come through whilst we've been talking. Prices, so you are sold in credits, so, but ultimately you'll service the platform in credits. Credits represent messages on a 1 credit to 1 message ratio, and that starts at 4.9p, going down to 2.3p. To give you an idea of scale, 100 credits would be sold at £4.90, 10 at £450, and 100,000 at 2,900. So you can see there, the more I'm buying, the cheaper the cost per unit. Everything we've then run through in terms of the core functionality of the system is completely free to use. So if you like the idea of some of that functionality, please feel free to use it at no extra cost. After all, it is there and designed to help our customers get better response rates. And the major change to the way in which we do business now, as a sort of final recap, there are those 3 pricing tiers now, which were the classic, the corporate, and the customized. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the session today. Any questions, please catch me on my my direct dial, and I will speak to you all soon, hopefully. Bye.